Ksenia.
Hi.
Welcome to Australia.
Thank you.
So we're just going to chat today about some of the shows that you've been in. And one of the questions that I wanted to ask was, so you're best known for your stint on Lost Girl. And so what was one of the most valuable lessons that you learned from being on that particular production?
Wow, that's a really great question. I feel like I grew up on the show. The better part of my 20s was spent playing Kenzie and being in the Lost Girl world. So it's hard to pinpoint one thing because I feel like it was such a pivotal time in my life. I feel like Kenzie was going through a lot and learning and growing, and so was I. So it was interesting to sort of have two lives to learn from, I would say. But I think if I had to pick one, I would say being on a show for so many years really teaches you about work ethic. In a sense, it's like a acting boot camp, because when you come into work at, let's say, 4 a.m. and you're there for what feels like 24 hours a day and you're playing the same character, you really get a chance to stretch your acting muscles. So I think I'm very grateful to the experience because I came out of it feeling like I had a large body of work. And so that's been just a help in moving forward and doing other projects, having that stamina that I learned on that
And
set.
speaking of stamina, so you were working on Lost Girl, and then you also got a role working on Orphan Black.
Yes.
And then you also got the gig working on Turn Washington Spies. So how was it as an actor trying to juggle being on all 3 shows?
Timing-wise, I had just finished the last season of Lost Girl, so season 5 part 2 or season 6, whichever way you want to call it. The next day, I believe I flew to Richmond to start working on Turn, so it was just a bit of culture shock. It was going to like a new school and being, the new kid after having been at another school for so many years and having my Lost Girl family, and just coming into a new place was just a bit shocking. And then I was doing Turn and Orphan Black at the same time. It was very interesting going from, a show like Orphan Black into a period piece where I had to have a British accent, and all of a sudden I was in a corset and these huge dresses, and I was playing a real person who existed in the 1700s, and so it was a juggling act, but one that I enjoyed, and I always enjoy a challenge, so it was tough but rewarding.
And so you were talking about the costumes, particularly in the period drama for Turn, and did you find that helped you to kind of get into the character?
Absolutely. I think as soon as you get your hair and your makeup and your wardrobe, and specifically stepping onto the beautiful sets that they built for the show, it definitely helps transport you to that time.
And I mean, even though, Penny's like from the 1700s, do you think that there's aspects of her character that you can relate to?
Yes, I will correct you. Her name is Peggy.
Oh, Peggy.
Peggy Shibben, that's okay. I really admire her. I think for a woman of that time, she sort of disobeyed all laws of how a girl should be. And I would like to think that I, sort of make my own rules for my own life. But I definitely take much inspiration from both Kenzie, who's one of the bravest young women I've ever played, to Peggy, who I think also shares that quality and was not afraid to break rules and was not afraid to, go after what she wanted. So I hope to learn from all the kick-ass women that I've gotten to play.
And so, because it is a period drama and it's about the revolution, the American Revolution that they were having, was there a particular piece of historical information that you learned on the show that you found particularly fascinating? I mean, you're Canadian, so of course it's not completely accurate to your country's history. But I mean, was there something that you found particularly interesting whilst working on that show?
I think just the entire war. I delved into research to really understand, as much as I could about it. And I think what's fascinating is the people that were involved in the war. Somebody like Peggy Shippen, somebody like Benedict Arnold. Why did this man who was so loyal to his country turn his back on his own country and betray them? I mean, those are the fact that these things actually happened, I think is fascinating. So I think, just learning about the specific people that were involved in making